Stop! Don't run! I'll have to shoot! ISIS gunned down civilians trying to escape while booby-trapped cars exploded around them. They finally reached the pile of bodies and rushed to pull the little girl and the two surviving men to safety.
Today, I've got something different for you. A story that stayed buried for years, until someone finally chose to let it be told. This comes from a man I once knew during training, someone who would later live through one of the most intense experiences you can imagine. But before we step into it, if you're drawn to stories that feel dark, real, and a little unsettling, then you're in the right place, because that's exactly what happens here. Stories that stay with you, and they don't come once in a while. They show up here again and again every single week. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, take a moment, support the channel, and make sure you don't miss what's coming next.
All right, let's get into today's story. In June of 2011, I had just failed a very stressful underwater test as part of Navy SEAL training. After failing the test, my instructor ordered me out of the pool to join the others who had also failed. I climbed out and made my way to where my classmates sat. There I saw the others who had failed the same test. Exhausted, I sat down and started breathing heavily to show how hard the test was. A big 18-year-old from Wisconsin named Ethan Brooks turned around and looked straight at me. Through gritted teeth, he told me to be quiet because everyone there was in pain. He turned away, and at first I felt angry, but then I realized he was right. SEALs don't have time for self-pity. That lesson from Ethan Brooks stayed with me forever. And the entire SEAL community would never forget the incredible thing Ethan Brooks did years later. After graduation, Ethan Brooks joined his first team on the West Coast. Soon after, they deployed to Afghanistan, where he walked rear security. During patrols in Afghanistan, Ethan was assigned rear security, constantly watching their backs as they left villages. Then he saw two little girls running down the road toward the patrol. The girls wore backpacks like the explosive one found earlier. He yelled at them to stop or he would have to shoot. Stop! Don't run! I'll have to shoot! He raised his rifle and began pressing the trigger. At the very last possible second, the two little girls stopped and ran back toward the village. That encounter with the innocent girls haunted him deeply. He realized he wanted to do more to protect innocent civilians in war zones. When his contract ended, he left the SEALs and flew alone to northern Iraq. As a civilian with no support, he knew the risks but chose to go anyway. He was met by Jake, a former Marine who knew the area well. Good. We need your expertise. Roger that. Stay sharp. There he met Derek, a battle-hardened leader who had seen the worst atrocities by ISIS. They headed west toward Mosul in a convoy of armored vehicles. At every checkpoint, they prepared for possible contact with ISIS. They linked up with an Iraqi armored unit near Mosul. Their role changed from aid to frontline combat as they cleared villages around Mosul. In one house, they discovered a hidden tunnel and chased ISIS fighters inside. Grenades out! Go! Keep pushing! They're ahead! They reached a dead-end cavern but spotted another tunnel high above. Later that night, they heard explosions underground as trapped fighters detonated. On May 4th, they joined the main push into the heart of Mosul with tanks and armored vehicles. ISIS opened fire with machine guns, rockets, and mortars from the city. ISIS gunned down civilians trying to escape while booby-trapped cars exploded around them. For weeks, they operated a field aid station, treating as many wounded civilians and soldiers as they could. Hold still, I've got you. I know. Help is coming. One morning, they discovered a massacre at a major intersection. Over 200 men, women, and children had been gunned down in front of the hospital. Among the dead, he saw a tiny 4-year-old girl trying to hide under her mother's body. We move now. The tank provides cover. Yes, sir. Smoke deployment ready. Good. Understood with you. He immediately planned a dangerous rescue using a tank and smoke screen. American artillery fired smoke grenades to obscure ISIS view. Bullets and rockets rained down from multiple directions as they advanced. Keep pushing forward! He was terrified and convinced he would die that day. They finally reached the pile of bodies and rushed to pull the little girl and the two surviving men to safety. Suddenly, one of the wounded men slipped and fell directly into the path of the reversing tank. He had to make the heartbreaking choice to leave one man behind to save the others. He was shot in the leg but refused to stop until everyone was safe. With the smoke gone, he ran across the exposed street to call for an armored vehicle. When the little girl reached safety, the soldiers erupted in cheers. Later in the aid station, he saw the little girl he had risked everything to save, sitting safely just 2 beds away. She ate and drank ferociously, still in shock but alive. The doctor told him her name was Lila and she would be just fine. Overwhelmed with emotion, he pulled his hat down and wept. After his injury, he was sent back to the United States to recover. The rescue was filmed and the footage went viral around the world. Major news outlets reached out for interviews about the heroic rescue. Ethan, can you describe the rescue? We had to act fast. The team pulled through. And the civilians? They're safe. That's what matters. His leg wound healed quickly, and instead of resting, he returned to help in another conflict zone. He founded Vanguard Rescue Initiative to protect families in conflict zones. Despite being a small organization, they are making an enormous impact around the world. They rely on monthly supporters to continue their work. Their motto is the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Ethan Brooks showed the world what one determined person can do when good men refuse to stand by. Lila was reunited with her surviving family members and is living safely today. Years later, he sat down to write a book about the horrors he witnessed and the lives he fought to save. After recovering, Ethan continued his mission by traveling to other dangerous conflict zones around the world. Through his new organization, he focused on protecting families trapped in active war zones. He believed that protecting the innocent was more important than any personal safety. Every mission reminded him of those 2 little girls he almost had to shoot years ago. He carried the memory of that day on the pool deck and turned it into a lifelong commitment. His organization depends on ordinary people who give small monthly donations to keep operations running. Supporters receive a special shirt with the powerful motto on the back. Even with limited resources, their impact continues to grow across multiple countries. That simple but powerful lesson he learned as a young trainee on the pool deck became the foundation of everything he would do in life. Knowing Lila is now safe and living with her family gives him strength to keep going. His story proves that one person's courage can create ripples of hope in the darkest places. With every new mission, his small team grows stronger in purpose. Team, this is the route. We move at first light. Understood. We're ready. Good. Stay sharp. Let's move. They deliver food, medicine, and protection where governments cannot reach. He knows the dangers better than most, yet he still chooses to go where others will not. His work stands as a powerful reminder that good men must never do nothing. Every life saved, every family protected, makes the sacrifice worthwhile. His journey from the training pool to the battlefields of Mosul changed him forever. Through his book and his actions, he shares the harsh truth of war and the power of compassion. His organization continues to expand its reach to new areas where civilians need help the most. He is deeply grateful to every person who chooses to support the mission monthly. In the end, his story teaches us all that courage and compassion can change the world. From that single moment on the pool deck, a hero was born. Together with his supporters, he continues to prove that good men will always act. One day, the work of people like Ethan will help bring peace to places once filled with darkness. This is the story of a man who refused to look away. His courage continues to inspire people everywhere to stand up for what is right. In that quiet moment with Lila, she became the most important thing in his life, proving that good men must never stand by and do nothing.